Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I show you the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. And this episode is going to be a little different, and I'll explain how in just a minute. But I'm playing white, and black has played a micro Chinese opening. And when I made a safe 2-space extension, he made a little 1-space extension. And at this point, I didn't play it, but my best move is probably just to go ahead and do the slow-looking 1-space extension here out towards the center. And this would be a good move for 3 reasons. Number 1 is it increases the safety of my group, which is a good reason. Number 2 is it prevents a black sequence to push me down, which he does get to play in the game, which starts with the peep at Q10. And number 3 is this stone here actually starts to give me access to reduce black's upper right. So it's a point from which I can reduce. So that's 3 good reasons to play this move. But like I said, I didn't play it. I decided to attack this single stone. And he played here, and I played here. And this might be playable if my follow-up is really good. But I gave him a real chance. He didn't think long before playing through the reducing moves that I said. And he played here. I took this cut, and then I extended. By the way, this extension is good. If I don't play this, and instead Tanuki plays somewhere else, giving him the Atari there is just a little too much to tolerate. It gives him real control of the outside. So this extension doesn't look big, but it is correct. But this move then gave him time to come and continue to grow the top. And let me explain what's going to be a little different about this video than most. And in this one, I'm actually going to ask you 5 questions. And I got them all wrong. And these come rapid fire, one after the other. In other words, I make 5 almost consecutive mistakes. And for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and suggest you pause if you like. But for all the rest, I'll just pause, and you can pause if you like to. So at any rate, with this move, black has started to really build the moyo in the upper right. Now, if you're white, where would you play next? Go ahead and pause if you like. Last time I'm saying that. Okay. I played here for 2 reasons. The first one is I thought this would help me build the left side. And the second is I thought it was a reasonable attack on black, which was my initial purpose when I kicked him in the first place. So I thought this was pretty good. But it's really not for 2 reasons. Number 1, the left isn't my house yet, and I can't even solidify it with 1 more move. So if I think I'm going to get the whole thing, I'm dreaming a little bit. And actually, the upper right is bigger because it's the sort of area that black may be able to secure with just 1 more move. Second, if I think this is attacking black, I'm not looking at the board right. And I wasn't. Because if black just plays here, he says to A, really? You're attacking me? Because it seems to me I'm driving you into one of the biggest walls in the world, and what are you going to do about it? And honestly, as white, I don't know how I would have answered this move. Fortunately, he didn't find it. So what should I have played instead of this? Well, when black invests all these stones to gain the thickness, that should be the focus of the game until either his territory is complete or until I've been able to minimize it. And the most important thing is to not come under a really severe attack and let him use it. And just come out nice and easy like this would be a really reasonable move with good follow-ups. Okay, so that was problem 1. I'm 0 for 1. And I played this. Fortunately for me, black now blundered pretty badly. And I'll show you what he did, and then I'll rewind and explain why it's a mistake. He played here and here. And so he leaned on me. and he leaned in preparation to an attack on the stone, so I could see what he was doing. But the lean wasn't necessary. I showed you a severe continuation without any leaning. And the reason this is bad is he's now made this very solid white territory, and there's really no longer anything he can do about it. This is now my points, and I don't need to worry about it any longer. And that's not good, because if he plays, say, this continuation, and the game continues on, and then he gets a stone around here, it's not my corner. It might be my corner, but it's not yet my corner, and there's still horrible agi around c17. So the reason his move was bad is it completely got rid of that agi, which I was happy with. And then he decided to attack this stone by playing here. So now, you're white. Where would you play? I decided that the attack on me wouldn't be so severe if I could just come out. I have a way to run out, and I can also run to the right, and I think I'm going to be okay. And this is actually reasonable thinking, and is a fine approach. But what's wrong is when you're in a situation like this, and when the opponent gives you a possible cutting point, before playing the easy move, this is the easy move, read out continuations of the severe move. What happens if I cut that stone off? And it turns out this would be a really reasonable and good continuation for white. If black goes ahead and cuts off my stones, then I'll help the weaker ones, and he's at a bit of a loss for what to do. If he pushes out this way, okay, Atari, and then he pushes this way, then I would grasp this stone, and I'm safe on both sides. Are you reading out a ladder right now? Because if you are, sorry, not a ladder, it's a net. Why, so why is this good for white? 2 reasons. Well, 3 even. Number 1, by making a nice thick living group in the top center of the board, it greatly reduces the value of black's wall. And he's still going to get points over here, but not nearly as many points as you would have hoped. So this is a good result locally for white. Second, black has solidified me and given me the corner, so he can't attack that group either. I'm completely safe on both sides. So the third reason this is good for white is these black stones just look a little stupid. They're not taking any points, and they're not splitting weak groups. They're effectively just running on dame. So this would be a good result for white. So I should have been more severe, and I wasn't. I didn't even really consider it. I just decided that coming out was good enough. So 0 for 2. All right. Black's next move, he played here. And as you can guess, my next move wasn't right. So where would you play? I followed the proverb, honey at the head of 2 stones without even thinking. And I was happy, because now I'm getting 4th line territory on the left, and the game's looking good to my eyes. But again, it comes back to the previous problem of... So when white plays this move, white is really happy. It's even better than before because of A. White's shape is super thick. And if black comes back and protects his cutting shape, white just eats that stone and is perfectly happy. This move is sente for black. But when white picks up this stone, again, he's completely safe on both sides and is going to gain either from cutting black over here or from running into this side and reducing the upper right. One way or the other, white's going to be perfectly happy, and the game is good. So I didn't play this move. I'm 0 for 3. How are you doing? Right. So next, black played here, and as you can guess, my response is wrong. So if you're white, where would you play? I decided just to extend along the 4th line, and he's pushing me from behind, and A is outish, so how bad can it be? And this was slack thinking. And again, the way we want to think in a situation like this when you play is can I play the severe move? And in this case, the severe move is saving this stone. And if I move out, it's a really interesting move for a couple of reasons. Is if I keep B safe, eventually black is going to have to go back and fix at A. So it's going to cost black a move if I move out with B. So just from that point alone, it's worth playing. But it's just a really awkward shape for white. He can't play this, right? Because then he's just getting an ugly clump, which is just annoying. So that doesn't look good. And if he plays here, then I can just Atari the stone and he can't even connect. And if he does connect over here, I can play here and I'm up to the 5th line. Remember in the game I was only up to the 4th line. And black still can't cut off the 2 white stones. So you can see this is just a great result for white compared to the actual game. What else can white do? What if he just comes back and connects? Well, now I can fall back and play the move I played in the game, and the exchange of A for B is already good for white, and I don't even have to continue locally. I can leave the A stone for later and just leave it as a forcing move. It's a good exchange already. Okay, so where am I now? I'm 0 for 3 because I didn't play A. And instead, I just played here. So black turned here, and at this point, he's in good shape. He's either out or nearly alive, and I've given up a stone, and these 2 stones are now much weaker than they were before. So if you're white, where would you play? I decided that the best approach is just to keep running out and stay safe. And this is a little bit slack. And again, keeping the upper right in mind, this is an area I really want to reduce. And if black is going to spend moves on to the left over here, then why don't I just run to the right and begin to make shape? Again, I have a way out, or I have a way to make eyes along the top and the middle. I mean, the most severe sort of thing that black could play would be something like this, and it's really not going to be much of a problem for white to settle with a nice sacrifice to Suji or 2. So this would be perfectly good for white because it's reducing the value of black's thickness here. And when I saw this, I asked Jenny, but isn't getting completely contained at A a bad thing? And she said, normally yes, but right now, black is totally invested in one part of the board. He's got one big house. And when someone's only got one big house, living in it does a lot of damage and would be a good result for white. All right, so there's really what to learn from this video is 2 themes. And the first of which is both black and white need to stay focused on the value of this thickness. And I need to reduce it every time I get the chance. And there were a couple ways I could in the game, like this one, for example. And then the second one is instead of just playing for territory or playing safe, look at the more severe continuation. And if it works, play the more severe continuation. Don't play the easier continuation. So, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Because after 5 straight mistakes, actually, I don't hate the game for white. I think it's reasonable. But that's because while I made 5 mistakes, black made 2 mistakes that were probably worse than my 5. Number 1, he didn't severely attack this stone when he had the opportunity. And number 2, he settled me in the upper left, which gave me a lot of options. So that's it. See you next time.